Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. Today we'll be doing the detailed camera review of the latest Nord device from OnePlus, the OnePlus Nord CE4. So OnePlus Nord CE4 comes with a dual camera setup. It's a 50 megapixel camera and you also get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. So let's see how good the camera experience is on the OnePlus Nord CE4. So before that, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first let's have a look at the hardware offered. The primary camera is a Sony Light 600 sensor with optical image stabilization offered. It's a 50 megapixel shooter with f1.8 aperture. Then you get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera which is a Sony IMX355 sensor. And on the front camera, you get a 16 megapixel selfie shooter with f2.0 aperture. So that's the camera hardware of the OnePlus Nord CE4. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see how it performs and how good is the camera samples for this price segment. So let's first have a look at the daylight captures taken with this device. So in terms of daylight conditions, you can see here the images are bright, crisp and good colors are offered. The details are good. The dynamic range is also good and you can see that they are more or less pleasing. Especially when it comes to extreme shadows, you could see that the dynamic range isn't the best out there, but most of the cases the dynamic range did work pretty well. And even if you zoom into the pictures, you can see that there is plenty of details. The sharpness levels are quite good and acceptable levels. So overall, in terms of daylight conditions, the images are pleasing, good details on offer. The colors are mostly natural, there is no oversaturation issues and it does a quite good job overall. So daylight condition, it won't disappoint users, and the Sony Light 50 megapixel sensor does a pretty good job. Now when it comes to ultra wide angle camera, the 8 megapixel shooter delivers decent images. Again, the sharpness levels are not that great considering that it's just an 8 megapixel shooter. Color consistency is not very good, although it is still okayish in terms of colors produced. So the ultra wide angle camera does a decent job altogether in terms of overall quality offered. Now when it comes to close-up images, once again the colors are good, the details are good, but when it comes to close-up shots, the sharpness levels are not as good as what we felt when we took the landscape shots. It could have been slightly better overall, but nevertheless it does a decent job altogether, especially with the colors, the dynamic range and the overall detailing also looks good, but sharpness levels could be better. Let's move on to the portraits. Now when you look at the portraits for the first time, you can see the portraits are a bit contrasty in nature, especially the skin tones are a bit reddish also in nature. The background bokeh effect looks good, but the edge detection is not perfect actually, but colors looks quite okay. So we would say a bit more fine tuning is required for the portrait. It's not the best portrait out there, especially if you look at the edge detection, there are a lot of missed edges as well. So that's one of the things which needs to improve. The portraits are not really that class leading. It could be fixed with software updates. Let's move on to the low light conditions. Now in terms of indoor shots, you can see here there is plenty of details on offer. Looks good because there is optical image stabilization offered. The same goes with the night mode shots as well. It doesn't over expose or oversaturate the night shots and it looks pretty good actually. The OIS works pretty well and you can see that there are detail. The dynamic range is not that impressive, but again for an extreme low light capture, these look pretty good. The sky colors are also rendered pretty well. So overall the night photography does pretty good job, especially with the OIS in place. So that's the low light captures taken with the OnePlus Nord CE4. Now moving on to the selfies. The 16 megapixel selfies look quite good, especially the skin tones. So we like the skin tones, even the t-shirt color, the background color and the dynamic range also looks quite good. They are more pleasing. Again, selfies are more of a personal choice. Once again, we would like to say there is a bit of a reddish tone to the selfies, but again they are more of a personal choice. The portrait selfies also was not that impressive in terms of edge detection, but quite acceptable though. So that was the selfie camera. So what do you guys think about the selfie camera? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's move on to the video recording. Now the phone can record 4K 30 FPS video. Now the 4K 30 FPS is not stabilized even though there is OIS. You can see here it's kind of shaky video. The colors looks quite okay. The details and sharpness levels are also quite acceptable, but it is not recommended for moving shots because there is no stabilization offered. Now the 1080p 60 fps footage is stabilized, but here we would say the sharpness levels are not that impressive. Again, the HDR isn't that impressive, but overall quality looks quite okay. The stabilization did work pretty well in the 1080p 60 fps. Now the 1080p 30 fps also looks quite okay. It's kind of acceptable one, again not a class leading one, but most people will still be okay with the video recording. So that's the 1080p 30 fps. Now there is also an ultra steady mode. This is the ultra steady mode. The stabilization looks quite okay here. Again the quality is more or less similar, and this is recorded in 1080p 60 fps. Now the ultra wide angle camera, it's a decent shooter actually. It can record videos in 1080p resolution, and you can see it's not very good in terms of details and sharpness levels, but quite acceptable. So this is the portrait video taken using the rear camera on the OnePlus Nord CE4. So this has been shot in f2.0 aperture. You can record only in 1080p 30 fps if you're going for the portrait mode. Otherwise you can generally go with the 4K 30 fps. So you can judge yourself how good the quality of the bokeh is, the edge detection in the portrait video. So this is the front-facing camera sample taken using the OnePlus Nord CE4. It can record videos in 1080p resolution. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is, the dynamic range, and also the overall stabilization offered for the selfie camera. So this is the front-facing camera sample taken with the stabilization mode turned on. So you can judge how good the stability of the video is once you turn on the stabilization for the front camera. So this is the portrait video taken using the selfie camera on the OnePlus Nord CE4. So you can judge how good the background blur is. You can actually change the values. Right now this is f2.8 aperture, so you can actually change it. So you can just check how good the depth of field is, and also the edge detection in the video. So that is a detailed camera review of the OnePlus Nord CE4. So as a whole, the cameras are quite likable, especially the daylight conditions and low light captures did turn out to be pretty good. Even the selfies turned out to be okayish, but the portraits needs a bit more refinement. I would say it's not the best portraits out there, and close-up shots also needs a bit more sharpness in overall detailing and quality. But otherwise, it's more or less a likable camera. It won't be disappointing in nature, but there are areas for improvement, especially the video recording also and the portraits. So what do you guys think about the camera on the OnePlus Nord CE4? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Umar signing off with a camera review of the OnePlus Nord CE4. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.